Hello, this is a video on how to play Colorado Solitaire. Colorado Solitaire is solitaire that has a bit of a higher, I guess, difficulty level. Um, Reason being is you'll play with two standard 52 card decks, right? The more cards you have, the more probability that there is that things could go wrong, and so the greater the probability of you losing. The objective of the game is to build 4 foundations up from ace to king, and the other 4 foundations down from king to ace. You'll need to set up 20 tableau piles, right? You deal 1 card to each of the 20 tableau piles. So we start out with 20 tableau piles with 1 card each. You'll then deal 1 card to the face up to the waste pile. The remaining cards are set aside, forming a stock pile, and then you'll also have 8 empty foundation piles. In terms of playing the game, a card from the waste pile can be moved to the tableau pile. It doesn't matter. You can move a card from the waste pile to the tableau pile no matter what. There is no restriction whatsoever when you're moving a card from the waste pile to the tableau pile. So just to demonstrate, I'm going to go ahead and move it arbitrarily. As you can see, I'm able to successfully move it every single time. Also note that a card from the waste pile, if it meets the foundation requirements, in this case it doesn't, right? Because you don't start a foundation with a queen here. But if we could, then we could move it directly to the foundation pile as well. So here we'll play the king there. And so that actually didn't work out because it moved the card from the waste pile automatically to the tableau. But let's say we played the king there, we could automatically move the queen directly from the waste pile onto this king of hearts, right, when we are building down. Also note that only the top card of a tableau pile can be played to the foundation, right? So you can't move stacks of cards, right? You can only ever, just a demonstration, you can only ever move the top card in a tableau pile. What else is there to highlight? Well, you also have to think about the fact that whenever the waste pile gets empty, you have to draw a card from the stockpile and fill the waste pile with at least 1 card. But that's not really a rule that impacts gameplay. That's just what they traditionally do. Even if you decide to keep the waste pile empty, it won't impact the gameplay whatsoever. Also note that whenever an empty space is created in a tableau pile, it's automatically filled with a card from the waste pile. So an empty space in the tableau pile, when we play the king, the queen of hearts from the tableau pile was automatically played. As you can see, this is the automatic draw from the stockpile I was talking about, right? And that the player is forced to draw a card from the stockpile into the waste pile, no matter what. But that's sort of tradition. It won't really impact your gameplay too much. Also note that the game is, once again, won once you move all the cards into the foundation piles. So we'll go for a quick gameplay demo here, then we'll summarize the rules up again. But just by watching me play, you'll sort of be able to understand how the game is played. So right, notice how we're automatically filling the tableau piles, right? We don't get to pick what card we fill the tableau pile with. It'll automatically get filled up. And so what about playing cards between the tableau piles? Now that's a good question. Okay, you might say, okay, well, how can you play cards between the tableau piles? No matter what you try, okay, and this is sort of important to realize, you cannot move cards between tableau piles, okay? And so it's sort of weird, right? You can move a card from the waste pile to any tableau pile without any restriction, but you cannot move cards between tableau piles in Colorado. That's just how the game is played, right? It's a sort of weird aspect of the game, but it makes it sort of unique. Also note that you can only go through the stockpile once, so do it wisely. In this case, we have our ace of clubs, but we already have one of our clubs foundation piles started. No worries, we'll simply play it on... I don't actually like any of the cards I have right now, so I'm going to draw over it. Well, in this case, you cannot draw over it. The reason being is you can't draw over a waste pile card. I forgot to highlight that. Right? Your waste pile can only ever hold one card, and so you must stack a card from the waste pile onto your tableau. You cannot just draw over it like you can in other solitaire card games. So where should I place this? We'll place it right there. Okay, that's a bad placement actually. We'll place it. We have 9, 8, 8, 8. We're not going to need both of these 8s. We'll place it there. We'll place it on the 5. If you ever have a duplicate, place it on that. That's literally the best thing you could do, because it won't hinder your ability to access the card in any way, right? If you stack it anywhere else, it will hinder your ability to access the card eventually. I don't have a 10 here, so we'll go with, I guess, the placement on the queen. We have a 4 of clubs here. Don't have a duplicate. Well, I guess we'll go with the placement on the 5s, right? You also have 3, right? So place that duplicate there whenever you can. You have the 2. So we're not getting the cards that we'd like, which is to be expected. And the reason that is because there are double the regular amount of cards you would normally have, and so you're not going to get a card that you particularly love when you're drawing. However, follow my advice for the duplicates, right? Because mathematically speaking, this isn't going to restrict your access when you're trying to access cards. If stacking the 7 of spades on top of the 7 of spades doesn't hinder my ability to use a 7 of spades, I still have a 7 of spades available for use. So that's the sort of principle behind it. What else can we sort of do here now? We have the Jack of Diamonds. I'll stack it on that other Jack of Diamonds. 7 of Hearts. We'll stack it on the 7 of Hearts. 5 of Spades. Don't really have a Spades here. Stack it on the 8 of Spades, I guess. Why not? 6 of Hearts. Yeah, so I did not even mean to stack that there, but just for the sake of the game, okay, that actually might mess me up. So not just for the sake of the game, we'll try to play properly here. But as you can see, okay, it doesn't, like, just for a quality video, it wouldn't make sense to go through all 104 cards, okay? That's a lot of cards, right? And solitaires with 2 decks usually they take double the amount of time, right? And that's to be expected because they have double the amount of cards. So it wouldn't make sense to sit here and go through. But I think you guys understand the general gist of it. And what we'll do is we'll summarize it one more time. And so, in Colorado, you play with 2 decks of standard 52 cards, right? So 2 standard 52 card decks for a total of 104 cards. The objective of Colorado is to build 4 foundations up from ace to king, and another 4 foundations down from king to ace. In terms of setting the game up, you'll set up 20 foundation piles. 1 card is dealt face up to each of the 20 foundation. Sorry, not 20 foundation piles. My apologies. That is a large number of foundation piles. 20 tableau piles. So 1 card is dealt face up to each of the 20 tableau piles. 1 card is automatically dealt face up to the waste pile. The remaining cards are set aside, forming a stockpile, and then you'll have 8 empty foundation piles. In terms of playing the game, right, we'll simply start out our foundation piles. And so one can go ahead and do that without much worry. And what's the last ace we're missing? That would be the ace of spades. We don't have it. Right, so as you can see, you simply build up the foundation piles. Notice how when we are emptying a tableau pile, we are automatically filling it with a card from the waste pile, right? Also note that the card from the waste pile is moved to the tableau pile regardless of suit or rank. And also note that you cannot draw or have more than 1 card in the waste pile at a time. And so that means it essentially forces you to move your cards from the tableau pile, from the waste pile into any of the tableau piles. Cards cannot be moved between tableau piles at all. Also note that only the top card of the tableau pile can be played to the foundation, right? We cannot do anything with any card other than the top card. Whenever you have an empty space, it's automatically filled with the card from the waste pile, and the waste pile would then automatically be filled with the next card from the stockpile. Automatically meaning you are forced to draw it, right? And so if you're playing, make sure you force yourself to draw those cards. If you don't want to, it's fine. It won't impact your gameplay too much for the waste pile, but it will for the tableau pile gameplay. So trying to keep gameplay fluid, just stick to the rules, right? Your waste pile must always have a card, and all your tableau piles must always be full. You cannot move cards between tableau piles. You can move a card from your waste pile to any tableau pile, regardless of suit or rank. So that's the simple rules of the game. Hope you understand how to play Colorado Solitaire, and thank you for watching.